Kim with the gold medal flex. You are the show.
Here comes Diggins! Yes!
Jessie Diggins
yes!
to the line!
Yes!
More Olympic magic for Jessie Diggins.
Hello and welcome to the Stifel Snow Show. I am Ahmed, glad to be here with you today and every week to keep you updated on the latest in the skiing and snowboarding world. It's just over 2 years to the next Olympic Winter Games in Milan Cortina, but there's plenty to watch in the meantime. The athletes are crisscrossing the globe this winter, taking their talents across the pond and throughout the U.S. as the competition season continues. Let's take a quick look at where the athletes of Team USA are competing this upcoming winter. The U.S. cross-country and ski jumping teams were in action in Finland, while the free skiers took to the snow over in Stubai, Austria. And then back on home soil, the U.S. alpine team headed to Killington, Vermont for a World Cup event in women's tech. Now, one of the biggest stars across all snow sport for Team USA is Mikaela Shiffrin, a two-time Olympic gold medalist, a seven-time world champion. She holds the remarkable distinction of being the most successful alpine skier in history, with the most career World Cup wins among any man or woman in the sport. And a look at some of the all-time greats in alpine skiing. Shiffrin at the top with 89 World Cup wins entering Killington, followed by Swedish skiing legend Ingemar Stenmark and American Lindsey Vonn. Now, Shiffrin's next opportunity to add to that total came in Killington over Thanksgiving weekend. Shiffrin had won 5 previous World Cup races at this venue, but none in giant slalom. So she was trying to change that this year. After run number 1, Shiffrin was in 5th. New Zealand's Alice Robinson was on top. Shiffrin improved on that, though. With her time in run number 2, she moved into podium position, finishing 3rd with Olympic gold medalist Lara Gut-Behrami of Switzerland taking the win. Up next, another one of her signature events, the slalom. Shiffrin already had a win in slalom this season. A few weeks earlier in Finland, this time skiing in Killington in front of a home crowd. After one run of the slalom, she was in the lead with Lena Durr and rival Petra Velhova behind her. Let's take a look back at run number 2. Steve Schlanger, Steve Perino, and Picabo Street.
Petra Velhova, already a winner in Levy this year. Never outside the top 5 in the slalom in Killington, including 4 different occasions where she was second to Mikaela Shiffrin.
And I was so surprised to hear her coach tell us that she feels like she lost that feeling after utterly dominating everyone, including Shiffrin, in the opening races of the year, and they were just 2 weeks ago. But she's on the different side of the ocean. The snow conditions are different. She doesn't have the feeling. I believe her not right now. You know, I would expect her to be well up. Now she's starting to build.
Yep, and this is where she's good. Right here, when it's really tight, really steep, the rhythm stays consistent.
God, you know, it's good for the lead. I'm not sure it's good for her.
I don't know how good it feels to her right now, but she's keeping her skis in the fall line. They're aiming down the hill, and she's carrying her momentum.
Taking aim at a 30th career World Cup win, and she leads by over a second with 2 skiers to go.
So Shiffrin with the top time in run number 1 was the last skier to go. Here's a look back now at her second slalom run in Killington.
And now this is what they come to Killington for on Thanksgiving weekend. Mikaela Shiffrin, 5-time champion here, trying to add to her staggering legacy.
Ready? Go. She is so good typically in the last 20% of every slalom, particularly this one, that if she can keep it close right here, it looks really good for Shiffrin, because she just tends to build on her confidence throughout her run. And right now, it looks, she's not on her limit, but it looks sharp.
execution is absolutely essential for her. And if she can feel that she is executing her plan and executing good skiing, that, like you said, just keeps building her confidence as she goes down the course.
God, I mean, how does she do it through all of this noise at the finish line right now? Still clean.
Trying to harness that energy and manage the moment.
It looks like she's going to get this.
The crowd surging in Killington. A scorcher. It's World Cup win number 90. And the march through alpine history continues for Mikaela Shiffrin.
Yep, she did it again. It was also the 55th World Cup win in slalom for Shiffrin. Her season already off to a strong start. Vlhova in second, just 33 hundredths of a second behind Shiffrin, with Switzerland's Wendy Holdener rounding out the podium in third. It did not go unnoticed by another sports legend, 12-time Grand Slam singles champion Billie Jean King, who took to social media to express her excitement about Shiffrin's latest win. All right, up next, we've got a special guest in studio, Olympic gold medalist Picabo Street. Stay with us for more on the Stifel Snow Show. One of the legends of American alpine skiing is Picabo Street, whose prowess in the speed events left a lasting legacy in the sport. She made history as the first American woman to win the World Cup downhill season titles in 1995 and 96, claimed a total of 9 World Cup downhill victories. Street's accomplishments also include a Super G gold medal at the 1998 Winter Olympics and a downhill world title at the 1996 World Championships. And we are lucky to have her in studio with us today. Picabo, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
All right, you have transitioned now to our team, part of our NBC broadcasting team. You were part of the coverage for what we saw at Killington. What were your big takeaways from Mikaela Shiffrin and what she showed us there?
Just so much composure. The giant slalom was amazing. She was 5th after the first run. And to compose herself and rally for a performance in the second run and then, you know, get her first podium performance ever in GS in Killington was such a huge, step up for her and a feather in her cap. And so then, boom, she came out the next day, led the first run of the slalom, which is where she likes to be. She loves having the bullseye on her back. And then came out the second run and extended that lead to win the slalom. So, I mean, overall, just a great weekend of racing, but yay for Mikaela.
She has had so much success, but she continues to kind of push that envelope for Mikaela Shiffrin. The World Cup continues this week for the men at Beaver Creek. The men's speed. What are you looking forward to? What are you most excited about there? Yes.
Well, first of all, I'm just excited for them to get to race because the weather has kind of, got them on their heels this season. So they're excited to get in the starting gate. The Beaver Creek Birds of Prey is such a massive downhill. It's so technical. There's a lot that's going to be thrown at these athletes. And so for them to get up to speed that quickly, it's really going to take a lot for all of them to just be like, all right, we're ready to go. We haven't raced yet, but boom, let's throw that race switch and let's go and dive off of that Birds of Prey brink. That is one of the biggest transitions that goes from flat to steep that they have on the World Cup. Wow. So it's a really big weekend, and we've got a lot of Americans in the hunt.
What does the mentorship program look like with skiers out there on the circuit?
It's essential, honestly, especially as Americans. You travel for so many days and months of the year. You're gone away from home. You're away from kind of your support network. So what they've done in the team is they've created a support network within the team, which we're seeing in a lot of other sports as well, where athletes who are still competing themselves are mentoring athletes who are just coming up and starting to compete at their same level. And so they sit down and they have their conversations. They talk the mental game. Because honestly, everyone physically has prepared as well as everyone else coming in. Maybe some sicknesses or injuries here and there they're coming back from. But physically, everyone's kind of at the same level. What really makes the difference of why someone wins or doesn't is what's going on in your head and between your ears. Are you confident? Do you believe in yourself? Do you have all the little stuff organized that you can put aside? And that's oftentimes what the mentor position does, is just kind of walk you through some of those little logistics and help you organize that stuff. And then just remind you that positive encouragement, the praise, and that assistance to get your confidence to a place where you can produce your best performance.
All right, imagine I'm a novice and I need a mentor right now, and I want to learn about the technical side of skiing now, and I want to learn what goes into a good turn. What would you tell me?
Okay, so first thing is there's a difference between a man and a woman's physique.
Got it.
So a woman's physique, her center of mass is in her pelvis. And so keeping your hips up, forward, and over the skis is really important, because the key to making a good turn is starting your turn on the tip, holding strong in the middle, and then releasing. And as you release, you move into the next skate. You can see Mikaela right here. See how the lines are all the same? Ankles, hips, shoulders. Those are all the same. Those are all parallel. And those are all consistent with the direction that she's going and the direction that the gravity is trying to pull on her. As she comes out of this turn, she starts to lean her upper body already, as soon as she can, into the next turn, so her feet get behind her ever so slightly.
Years and years of practice there, but I imagine it doesn't always go as planned, and then you have to recover.
And it's so quick. It happens so fast. And here's an example of Paula's feet are out from underneath her. Her hips are angled in. The only way she stayed on her downhill ski right here is because those shoulders are slightly tipped out and over her downhill ski. And everything's just going in the wrong direction right now. And it's incredible, actually, how athletic she is and how she pulls this one out and doesn't end up out of the course. A lesser athlete ends up out of the course on this kind of turn.
I mean, I think I'm still a novice. Even though you just explained that expertly, I think I'd have to do it to learn
go out
a
on
bit
the
more
hill.
about it.
We'll make it happen.
We look forward to much more alpine skiing with the Birds of Prey in Beaver Creek. Coverage coming up next right here on CNBC. Picabo, thanks so much for being with us here today.
Thanks for having me.
Here comes Diggins!
Jessie Diggins to the line!
Yes!
And it is Jessie Diggins!
Gold!
Coming up next, we'll stick with skiing, but a different kind. Cross-country Olympians Rosie, Brennan, and Jessie Diggins join us from the road as their World Cup season continues. More from the Stifel Snow Show when we come back. Welcome back to the Stifel Snow Show. Cross-country skier Jessie Diggins continues to create milestone moments in her sport. She won the first ever Olympic cross-country skiing gold medal for the U.S. at the 2018 Winter Games in the team sprint with Keegan Randall. 4 years later, she added to her accolades by winning 2 medals in Beijing, becoming the most decorated American cross-country skier in history. Earlier this year, she won the 10-kilometer freestyle event at the World Championships, the first individual world title in her sport by an American skier. Diggins and the U.S. team were in action at the first World Cup event of the season in Ruka, Finland, in the women's 10K race. Diggins did finish 11th, but Utah's Rosie Brennan ensured the U.S. was still on the podium. She finished second in that event. Then, in the women's mass start, near disaster for Diggins. She lost a ski pole and a glove with about a mile to go. When she got a new pole, it hit her in the face during a shaky handoff. But, and this is no surprise, in typical Diggins fashion, she pulled off a gritty performance, finished second with Brennan in third. So they survived the Arctic temperatures, and they are with us today from afar. Jessie and Rosie, hello, welcome to the program. Thanks for being with us here today.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jessie, you look great right now, but that was one of the gnarlier races that I have ever seen. You had a bloody face, you had a missing glove, freezing temperatures. Tell us how you pulled off a podium finish despite all of that.
Oh, gosh, that was pretty exciting. With maybe 1.5 kilometers to go, my pole was stepped on and the whole glove came off. And one of our coaches, Kristen Bourne, sprinted down the hill, and it was so incredible. She got there in time, got a pole in front of me. I was not thinking very clearly, so I skied into it. That was my bad. So I clocked myself in the face with my own ski pole and then split my lip, so I had blood all over my face. But at that point, I just figured I have nothing to lose, and I'm going to cross that finish line with nothing left in the tank. I'm just going to see what I can do. And ended up getting an amazing draft and slingshot move off the downhill. So I was able to get into a good position to fight for the podium. So, yeah, I also received a lot of help and a lot of care at the finish line. So even though I had a bloody face and a freezing cold hand, I am all good now.
Just when you think you've seen it all, right, something like that happens. You go, maybe we haven't seen it all yet. Now, Rosie, you won 2 more World Cup medals in Ruka. Tell us about breaking through in this sport later in your career, just a couple seasons ago, and how you've kind of continued to build on that.
Yeah, I guess I would call myself a bit of a slow learner, so it's taken me some time to find my best form. But cross-country skiing is a great sport in that sense. It allows you that time, and fitness just builds on itself year after year. And so now I have the benefit of having many years of fitness gain, but also experience and hopefully some wisdom over the years too, to help me be able to race my best, and keeps me feeling young and excited to keep going and see what's possible.
Well, you guys are both dominating right now. And Jessie, in addition to setting records in the sport, you're also known for your love of glitter and TikTok dances. Tell me, how do those things help make you the cross-country skier that you are here today?
Well, the dancing is all about the coordination. I'm just kidding. It's just fun. I just really, really enjoy being with my team. This is an amazing team of people, and I'm really lucky to be part of it. And so we have a lot of fun together on the road. I mean, we're on the road for 4 months out of the year, and that's a lot of time with a team that starts to really feel like family. So for me, we really just enjoy all the downtime together. It keeps your brain relaxed and happy, so you're not over-focusing on racing all the time. And the glitter has kind of become that for me as well. It's a pre-race ritual. I wouldn't race without it. I almost forgot it once, and there was a huge panic. So, but for me, it's this promise to myself that I'm going out there, and I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to have fun. And I get to be here. It's a choice. You know, it's a huge privilege to get to represent the country and try my best out there. And so I want to smile on the start line because this is my dream job and I get to do it every single day. And so the sparkle is just this cool reminder of how fun this is.
I love that. I hope to see that. And that is such a great mindset to have. 2024 in Minnesota will be hosting a cross-country skiing World Cup, a first on U.S. soil in 2 decades. Jessie, I know you're a Minnesota native. This means so much to you. I know you've been a big part of trying to get an event on U.S. soil. What will this mean to you?
Oh, this is absolutely incredible. You know, when the day after winning that gold medal at the 2018 Olympics with Killington, I had people ask, like, what do you want? Like, what do you want to do with this? Like, what's your biggest hopes and dreams? And I think they were really hoping that my answer would be like, I want to go to Walt Disney World. But I said, I really want a World Cup in Minnesota. And that's something that I've been dreaming of for so long. I've been racing for a decade on the World Cup. And I've raced over 270 World Cups. And not a single one has been in my own country. It's going to be so cool to come home for the first time in a decade in the middle of the winter.
I mean, I cannot wait. Is it 2024 yet? I can't wait for the event to get here. Jessie and Rosie, thanks for being with us. Best of luck the rest of the season. We look forward to watching.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Coming up, it was not a cruel summer for the women of the U.S. Alpine team. Quite the opposite, in fact. They got to see none other than Taylor Swift in concert. They've got more on that when we come back.
After the season ends, we all kind of go our separate ways for a bit. In order to really get everybody to want to come together, it has to be something spectacular, like a Taylor Swift concert.
Mikaela Shiffrin really wanted to bring everyone together to do a summer activity that did not involve the gym. She loves Taylor Swift, and a lot of my teammates are big Swifties, as they say.
I had the idea of, but I should really just invite the entire Stifel U.S. women's alpine team to Taylor Swift. Katie Henshin, she ordered a bunch of pink cowboy hats from Amazon. Everybody looked amazing. And I have all of my friendship bracelets from Taylor Swift. This one, Karma, that's probably my favorite song.
It was so much fun to go there and be with everyone and just relax and not focus on anything but that moment, and we had an amazing night.
It turned into this whole thing that was like really one of the greatest weekends of my life. 3.5 hours of just dancing and singing Taylor Swift at the top of our lungs. It was so spectacular.
Yeah, Stifel Snow Swifties. How about that? Safe to say it was something out of their wildest dreams. Now, one of the U.S. ski team members at that concert was Olympian Paula Molson from Minnesota. She made sweet music to start the season with 2 top 15 finishes on the World Cup circuit. Was looking to continue that momentum on home turf at Killington. After run number 1 in the giant slalom, Molson was sitting in 15th, and after a strong second run, she skied her way to 8th overall. Day number 2, Molson recovered from a mistake on run 1 for another strong performance. In the end, an 8th place finish for her. Now, Molson had a guest of honor waiting for her at the finish line. Her nephew, Gavin, who was attending his first ever ski race and getting to watch Aunt Paula compete. Now, in freestyle skiing, 2 Americans reached the podium at a slopestyle World Cup event in Stubai, Austria, including 2022 Olympic gold medalist Alex Hall from Park City in 3rd. The final was canceled due to weather, so results were determined by qualification. Hall was joined by fellow Olympian Mac Forehand, who finished just ahead of his teammate on the podium in 2nd. Canada's Evan McEachran won the event for his first career World Cup victory. On the aerial side, 2022 Olympian Winter Vanecki from Michigan has been training triple flips. She landed her first one during training in Ruka, Finland. Triples are exceedingly difficult and rare in women's aerials. A couple of news items from around the world of snow sports. 2-time Olympic gold medalist Chloe Kim back on snow, expected to compete next week after taking the last season off. U.S. ski and snowboard now includes athletes from the U.S. para-alpine skiing and para-snowboarding teams on its roster, as many of them prepare for the next Winter Paralympics in Milan Cortina. And there are a few new moms on the U.S. snowboarding team. One of those moms is Megan Tierney, a 2-time Olympian in snowboard cross. She had a special guest in tow. Her first day back on the board. It was probably safe to say her daughter, Charlie Ray, going to be comfortable carving turns when it is her time to get on the snowboard. Just looks natural, right? All right, coming up next, alpine skiing from Beaver Creek with the men's downhill. That event continues tomorrow with the Super G, and we will be back on December 9th. Thanks for being with us today on the Stifel Snow Show. We look forward to doing this each and every week. I'm Ahmed Fareed, saying so long for now.